to speak at an advanced level of English requires two things. One, learning a lot of vocabulary and structures. And two, practicing many hours. In the following lessons, you're going to learn a lot about verbs, structures, and vocabulary. So, in this lesson, we will focus on what to do to practice your speaking as much as you can. Ways to practice your speaking. There are 3 alternative ways to practice your speaking. 1. Hire a private teacher. Without a doubt, the best choice is to hire a teacher, because a good teacher can correct your mistakes. 2. Do a language exchange. If you can't have a teacher, the next best solution is to have a language exchange. And 3. Speaking to yourself. But before we talk about this third alternative, speaking to yourself, let's learn more about language exchanges in case you would like to do one. So what is exactly a language exchange? It is an agreement between two people who speak different languages to teach each other their native language for free. So you exchange your knowledge of Spanish for a native speaker's knowledge of English. How long does a language exchange normally last? Normally, one person teaches the other his own language for about 30 minutes, and then they exchange roles. Where can you find a language exchange? Please check the course material for suggestions on sites where you can do language exchanges. Now, is it easy to find the right language exchange? No, it's not easy. Normally, the number of people trying to learn English exceeds the number of people trying to learn Spanish. This makes it hard to find English-speaking partners. Now, what can you do to find the right language exchange? You must be very persevering to get the right person. Following these steps will also help. 1. Sign up for an account on a site such as mylanguageexchange.com. 2. If you're not lucky finding a partner, pay to have more chances to succeed. Do not scheme, as it is not too much money. Now please take into account that we don't have any agreements to promote these sites, so this advice is only intended to help you get the best deal. 3. Send 30 emails at least to get your language exchange. Yes, you heard it correctly. At least 30 emails. You start getting results when you reach that number. 4. Get at least 2 people, even better 3, to speak at different times. If one fails, you always have another. 5. If you find natives, perfect. But if you don't, do not close the doors completely to non-natives. You can speak to a non-native who has a higher level of English than you. One of my students, for example, practices with a Greek man and an American woman. The Greek man has a good level of English, but is not a native. 6. The more chemistry there is between your language exchange partner and you, the more successful your speaking practice will be. The best language exchanges are not always with someone that is your own age or with the same jobs or hobbies. What works is to share the same interests and topics for speaking. 7. What can you talk about? Please check the course material in lesson 4. You'll find a table of topics to talk about. Move between levels. Remember that many advanced students sometimes don't know the basics, so it's good to practice talking about very simple things. It is with these beginners topics that you can improve your pronunciation, because you won't be worried about understanding the meaning or learning new words or basic essential vocabulary. 8. How to make your language exchange last. If you find a great speaking partner, don't let him or her go. Prepare your Spanish lessons well. Ask for feedback about your classes and correct his or her mistakes. In short, try to excel at teaching Spanish and create a lasting impression. In this way, your language exchange won't feel the need to look for someone else or stop the speaking sessions. Now let's talk about speaking to yourself. If you can't find a language exchange for whatever reason, the only thing you can do is to try to speak to yourself. But how should you speak to yourself? What phrases should you repeat? For how long? As I said before, you'll learn to raise your speaking level with the audiobook The Picture of Dorian Gray in the following lessons. Nevertheless, I would like to give you more resources that you can use to increase your level of speaking by repeating sentences and paragraphs aloud. Now, please check the course material of lesson 4. You'll find a list of topics with links to audios that you can use for repetitions. Before beginning to repeat the sentences, keep in mind the following. 1. You must choose only 4 or 5 phrases from each audio. 2. Find the words you do not know and translate the sentences, especially if they are difficult for you to understand. 3. Listen to the 4 or 5 sentences many times. 4. Once you know how they sound, start repeating them over and over again until they sound as natural as possible. 5. Once you have mastered those 4 or 5 sentences, you can continue with the next 4 or 5 sentences. 6. You must role-play both characters in the dialogues. 7. You can record your voice and compare how you're improving repetition after repetition. These repetitions can be done in front of a mirror. During the day, you can continue to mentally repeat the sentences. At first, these repetitions can be hard, and you may think they're silly, But over time, you will see that they'll help you to improve your fluency because you'll start to master meanings, sounds, and intonations that you didn't know before. To sum up, there are 3 ways to practice your speaking. 1. Hire a private teacher. Without a doubt, this is the best choice. A good teacher should correct your mistakes and teach you structures and vocabulary that would be difficult to learn on your own. 2. Do a language exchange. As it is not too expensive, try paying a small fee to the language exchange site in order to have more opportunities to find the best partners to do the language exchange with. Be perseverant, as it won't be easy to find the right person. 3. Talk to yourself. We'll use the audiobook The Picture of Dorian Gray as the main resource for speaking to yourself. You should also make use of the list of resources I have included in this lesson.